Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Sarah today. Pam's away at BNI networking.
I'm not convinced that that's what she's doing.
But it sounds good.
It does.
All right.
I think she's just having coffee somewhere with Lydia, quietly enjoying some peace without us.
She's hanging out with Lydia by Lake Auburn.
She's like, those guys.
Yeah.
Brr.
I can only take 2 days in a row of those people.
She needs a break from us.
We are covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at lydiamediallc.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
And today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it.
Squatch it.
Squatch it. 1, 2, 3.
Squatch it.
At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by the Director of Player Personnel for the Maine Nordiques Academy, Dylan Farrell-Reny. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Is this early for you? You got kids, right?
I got a kid, yeah.
You got a kid.
I'm used to it, I guess.
You've been up early before.
Yeah.
No worries.
No worries.
At least once.
Maybe twice.
We're going to talk to Dylan all about his position with the Nords. He's also a head coach for the 16 and 18s teams, right?
Yeah.
And a whole lot more. And we'll get there in just a bit. But before we do, let's take a look at some headlines for Wednesday, April 2nd.
The Sun-Journal reports that the city of Lewiston has changed the job title and description of its diversity, equity, and inclusion specialist to workforce development specialist. The change comes amid the Trump administration's hostility toward DEI initiatives.
The Maine Center for Disease Control is laying off at least 40 contracted workers due to the termination of nearly $91 million in federal grants. The cuts will affect immunization programs, disease and outbreak monitoring and management, community health workers, and efforts to reduce health inequities in vulnerable populations.
Senator Susan Collins introduced legislation to provide states with tuition assistance funding to support apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs. The American Apprenticeship Act would award grants and cover costs associated with apprenticeship programs, including tuition and equipment.
And the Lewiston-Auburn Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce released the nominees list for this year's annual awards. The 19 individuals are recognized for their resilience, innovation, and dedication in making our region a better place to live and work. The winners will be announced in the coming weeks.
And gee whiz, I feel like we know someone on the list.
We do. I was looking at the list. I think I know like 17 of the 19.
Yeah, but one of
them, is the owner of Lydia Media.
That's right.
Our very own Pam Ashby.
Yeah, nominated for a leadership award.
If she doesn't win, we should just declare shenanigans and protest.
Yep. You and I won't host.
That's right. That's right. Sounds good.
Do you want to talk about the weather?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't.
I promised myself I would no longer complain about the weather, but I'm telling you what, tonight's going to be a mess.
Yeah, it's gonna stink.
Yeah, well, it's going to be cloudy today with a high of 42 and a low of 25. There's going to be a mixture of rain and snow tomorrow, starting overnight tonight with a high of 48 and a low of 31, and it will be partly sunny on Friday with highs in the mid-50s. So maybe all of that mess that we get will be all melty and we can just move on.
And look forward to the next storm.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
In sports, if you're looking for good news when it comes to the Boston Bruins, well, this isn't your day.
Nope.
The Bruins lost to the Washington Capitals 4-3. Alex Ovechkin scored the 891st goal of his career, leaving him 3 shy of tying Wayne Gretzky for the most goals in NHL history. The Bruins have now lost 9 in a row and will visit the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night.
I was cheering for Ovi last night.
Well, who isn't?
Yeah.
Wait, Dylan, are you cheering for Ovi?
I absolutely am.
You have to.
100%. You have to. I think.
Yeah.
It's a
you have to.
generational talent, of course.
Yep.
It's a little different from when Wayne played, but, you know,
Yeah, it's like a
great
whole
to
different
watch, yeah.
game.
Oh,
now.
How cool do you think it would be for him to break that record and then have them win the Stanley Cup? Like Hall of Fame
Oh, my
locked
goodness.
in and Stanley Cup in one season. He'd just retire, right? Like he'll just be done.
He said that he was going to live out his contract, which ends next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won it this year, which they definitely have the depth to do it.
Yeah.
He might. I think that'd be the Cinderella story to kind of go out.
It's like a cherry on top.
Yeah.
We're rooting for him.
How do you top that?
I
You know,
don't think you
you
can.
come back, you're like, you know what, you guys, you can keep the money. I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah.
Drink some. Yeah.
Yeah. Just show up for the games. Just watch him play.
Are you a Bruins fan?
I'm a Flyers fan.
Flyers fan,
Oh.
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And your head coach just got canned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, another one went down.
Listen, we're in the rebuild phase. All right.
Yeah.
Give me a
Well,
break.
That's what all
I've been
Bruins
hearing
fans
it.
You're
I've
talking
say.
to Bruins fans.
Listen, I've been hearing it for the last 10 years, though. So. Unless you guys won one in the last century.
In other news, the Red Sox will visit the Baltimore Orioles tonight at 6:30. Garrett Crochet will be on the bump for Boston.
The Celtics go for their 10th straight win as they host the Miami Heat tonight at 7:30.
Bates College Baseball will host UMaine Farmington this afternoon at 3:30, and women's lacrosse will host Bowdoin at 7 p.m. Go Beavers!
I was waiting for it. And that's because Sarah's son goes to UMF.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's their mascot, the Beaver.
Yeah.
Is it?
Did you know that?
I did not.
The
Yeah.
Beaver.
That's awesome.
So
Beavers versus Bobcats.
the Maine Nordiques end their regular season against the New Hampshire Mountain Kings on Friday and Saturday at the Colisee.
The Auburn-based Maine Gladiators are headed to the national tournament. The 18U team, coached by former Lewiston Maniacs assistant coach Jeff Guay, will face off against the Alabama Thunder in Utica, New York. And the 16U team, led by Maine Nordiques assistant coach Caleb Labrie, will take on the Arizona Junior Coyotes in Wayne, New Jersey. The tournaments begin today and run through Sunday.
That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is
Sweeping?
sweeping Twin Cities.
What, we have two?
We got 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's do it anyway.
Okay.
It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for April the 2nd, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Sarah, I know you've never sseen Breaking Bad.
No, I have not.
Dylan?
Yes, I have.
Bad.
Okay.
Jesse Plemons
Yup.
is 37 years old today. He was Todd Alquist in the 5th and final season of Breaking Bad, and he came back for the sequel El Camino. You're going to have to help me out with this next one, Sarah.
Okay. Karen Woodward of Bananarama?
Oh, I thought it was a weird pronunciation.
No. It's no.
Okay.
It's singer Karen Woodward of Bananarama is 64, singer-songwriter, along with Sarah Dallin. And is this the one you were thinking of, Siobhan Fahey?
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay, a
Yep.
founding member of the girl group Bananarama. Do you remember their song Venus?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had Cruel Summer.
That's right, from the Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
It's a cruel summer.
Yeah, they had a bunch of others, too.
Yeah.
And rounding out FPBs for April the 2nd is the drummer for the Cars.
Oh.
Dave Robinson is 76 years old today. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was inducted in 2018 as a member of the Cars. One of the best bands to come out of Boston and in rock history, actually. Mm-hmm. Come on now. They're good.
Do you think that someone will drive him home tonight?
Those are your FPBs for April the 2nd. Now we'll take a look at some OTDs. Some on this days, 30 years ago in 1995. Do we have any wrestling fans in the room?
Actually, I think I probably watched this
You probably
with my
did.
dad.
Dubbed the worst WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 11 featured football legend Lawrence Taylor taking on Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event. I don't even know who won, but anyway, that happened.
I think it was Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
He beat Bam
Oh,
Bam.
that's right. It says he defeated. That usually means that they
means
won.
he won.
Yeah. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. I am here to assist.
Appreciate it. 33 years ago on this day in 1992, mob boss John Gotti was convicted in New York for murder and racketeering. He was later sentenced to life in prison.
Aye.
51 years ago on this day in 1974, The Sting beat out The Exorcist, Serpico, and American Graffiti for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Oh, The Exorcist.
He said it.
That one freaks you out, right? Yeah.
It's a great movie.
No.
55 years ago today, in 1970, the movie Patton was released, starring George C. Scott as World War II General George S. Patton. It went on to win 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Director. And finally, 512 years ago.
Were you there?
I was not.
Oh.
I was only 30 years old, but didn't travel much back then.
You didn't get around.
Yeah. In 1513, Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon landed in Florida in search of the Fountain of Youth.
Where did he get this concept from?
It was 1513.
He was like, I know there's a fountain somewhere.
There was no internet back then.
He woke up on his rock and was like, I'm going to get younger today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to find a hot spring that makes me younger in Florida.
I think that's why the sauna was like, invented, because it's supposed to take out wrinkles and stuff.
Oh, well, look
be.
at how smooth the manatee are.
Let me ask you this, Sarah, if the Fountain of Youth did exist, what age would you want to be?
I would base it on the point in my life when I was the most healthy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When was that?
I would say probably 44.
44.
That was probably when I was most healthy.
That wasn't that long ago.
No.
Okay.
No, that was probably when I was my most healthy, though.
All right.
Healthy and like mentally or like emotionally or
Physically.
Physically, okay.
Physically healthy. Yeah. I mean, I'm healthy now. I'm just not as healthy as I was 5 years ago.
Gotcha. Yeah. Dylan, would you want any part of that Fountain of Youth?
Yeah, a couple of years ago when I was 205 pounds instead of 260. I love it. So
Yeah,
old age
it
gets
makes
at you
some-
quick.
It
makes some
does, yeah.
changes. Yeah.
What do you mean old age? Are you 30 yet?
Oh, 29.
Get out of here.
Can you just pack your bags.
Get out.
Pack them up. Vinny's older than you.
Who's Vinny?
The dog.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for April the 2nd.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, Dylan Farrell-Reny, Director of Player Personnel for the Maine Nordiques Academy. Dylan, what exactly does that mean?
Oh, geez.
Yes,
Where do
please.
I start?
Tell us what you do.
We don't get it.
So I have a lot of hats I have to wear in this program. Very honored to be a part of this program, actually. It's a very, historical program with the, following from the Lewiston Maniacs all the way up through what the Nordiques are now. My job is Director of Player Personnel. I find all the good talent, the hidden talent throughout the world. We're scouting in Poland, Europe, Canada, all around the United States to, build the best U16 and U18 program possible for that pathway of development to get them up to the North American League team. So, taking care of scouting and recruiting and signing and, development for them to be sent off to Nick.
So some of these kids are going to end up moving on up.
Yeah, so
Through the
it's
program.
It's great because we actually have living proof that it works with a few of the players now. Like Shane Kozlina and Zion Green and Laurent Trepanier and a few others have made that step from our U16 and U18 program all the way to the North American League. Mm-hmm. Zion Green got the opportunity to play in the USHL, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But it really does show that pathway, if you trust the process, that you're going to go places. It's all about just trusting the process and developing and, getting that opportunity when it rings.
So you're in charge of finding, like you said, the best players in the world, actually. Do you get to travel a lot?
We do. Yeah, I do. In a couple weeks, me and Nick are going to what's called the World Select Invites, coaching a team out there. He's coaching a team. He has a business partner that runs the U.S. Express. They both run the U.S. Express, and we have a lot of really good talent coming into that showcase. It's in Philadelphia for a week. A lot of the kids that I have recruited or signed for our program are actually playing in that tournament. So we're also going to be looking at everybody there. When you're a coach and a director of player personnel, your job never ends. Even during the season, you take notes on kids, and you never know what may pop up.
And you're also the head coach of the 16 and 18 teams.
Yeah, so I'm the head coach of the U16s. That was just announced the other day. Very honored to do that. Yeah. It's a very, very tough level of play. Most of the teams that we will be playing, like the Mid-Fairfield, Mount St. Charles kids, have players that are going to be drafted in the USHL and, may have already been committed D1. I'm the associate head coach for the U18 program with Chris Parmerlow, a local name.
Are those the NA3 Nordiques?
Nope. So the NA3 is a completely separate league. So
my goodness, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hockey up in this business.
Yeah, there's 5 teams under the Nordiques, and it's a great time. So, but having the opportunity to work work next to Chris and kind of learn some professionalism under him, I'm really excited to do on the 18 level. But I'm really excited to kind of do the trickle down effect and help our associate head coach that we're going to be announcing here soon for the 16s to help him grow as well. So it's a really exciting time for us.
There is a lot of hockey happening in the Twin Cities, and we're psyched about it. The Nordiques are well on their way to another strong playoff run. Yeah. Were you at the games when they became the Maniacs?
Yeah, so I'm a support staff for Nick, whatever he needs, whatever Caleb needs, or Nate Bostic, or any of the equipment staff need. I'm just there to kind of help out and assist. So I go on the road with them, get to connect with the boys, and it's nice. It's a nice feeling to see us winning and see a really good group of kids that really deserve that opportunity to go win a Robbie.
Did you happen to catch the national anthems at any of those games?
The guitar one?
No. The Maniacs ones. Because our very own Sarah.
You were one of them?
She sang.
I did them both.
All
you
three.
did them both.
I did all 3 of your Maniacs.
So my birthday was March 27th, so the Thursday game. So I was there for that one and the first one. I wasn't there for the Friday night game.
See, now that's too bad because I was told that was the best one yet.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, it's not about me. It doesn't matter.
You have a great voice.
Thank you. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thank you. The fans were fired up, so it was fun.
Biggest crowd, too, on Friday.
Yeah.
Biggest crowd in history.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like, the first time you went out as the Maniacs, it was like over 1,600. So I was like, well, this is it. Like, this is we're maxing out. But then more people showed up for Friday, and I was like, wow, Lewiston Auburn loves this team. They love you guys.
They really do, and it's great to have such a wonderful community back us up. I got the opportunity to play for the Fighting Spirit back in the day here for a little bit, and I played right down the road at CMCC on their first team since I think back in the 70s when they re-announced college hockey. Cool. So me and Caleb Labrie played together on CMCC. We're a very solid team. Could have been something special there, but we were independent, so we didn't get any national bids or anything like that, but we definitely would have. So hockey in the Lewiston area is really well loved, and you definitely know when you're not doing something right, they'll let you know. Yeah. But they really back you up in this community, and it's great. And it's like one of the biggest sells I actually have when I'm talking to kids is just the atmosphere you get here. It's bone chilling, to be honest with you.
We have the privilege of talking to the players throughout the season. Yeah. They come in every Wednesday, whether they want to or not.
Sometimes they're sleepy.
Yeah, and we, Sarah and I, have never played hockey. I don't even know how to skate, but I love hockey. I'm fascinated by it. I love the speed and the physicality of it. You wonder what it's like elsewhere. And we asked them that, like, what is it like when you go to Johnstown? What is it like when you're playing Northeast, when you're playing the Gens on the road? And they're just like shaking their heads. They're like, it's nothing like home.
It really is. And I mean, I can attest to that as a guy that played against these fans when the NA3 was here and playing for these fans. You definitely want to be on the north side.
Yeah.
They will make you hear it and feel it, and you question your worth and yourself sometimes when you're playing against these guys. But I've had nothing but great welcomes from these fans. People stop me in the hallways all the time, welcoming me to the family. There's really no better, community than Lewiston Auburn for the hockey scene. They really come together and support the boys and make the boys feel special. And like I said earlier, this is a really special group that could get the job done.
Yeah.
And it's coached by a really great coach, Nick Skurlick. And for him to be the youngest coach in North American League history and to be winning the way that he's winning and Caleb Labrie being in there with Stan Moore and Nate Bostic and Tyler Michoud. It's just it's a special group to be a part of, and really kind of witness it firsthand.
And these kids get to skate in the Colisee.
Yeah, so we practice. So after here, I'll head over there. We practice every day at the Colisee, and it's a historical barn. I mean, my grandfather, before he passed away, told me about the time he went to the Muhammad Ali listed fight, and I'm just like, that's insane. I'm signing a kid right now out of Detroit for U16s, and he's a Gold Glove boxer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, his dad was all worried, like, where am I going to train? I was like, you do realize that the Colisee was the famous picture of Sonny Liston getting knocked out by Muhammad Ali. He's like, no way, are you serious? I'm like, I know a boxing coach down in the local area, Scott Frost.
We have a club, yeah.
Yeah, Scott Frost is a boxing coach around here. I used to work with his wife at Great Falls Marketing, and I was like, I can get you connected, man. Like, we got everything around here.
That's awesome.
You got to sign the dotted line. Get over here for us.
That's a really good point. I'm sure you recruit from all over, but Lewiston and Auburn have a lot to offer people.
They really do.
Coming in. Like, there's more to it than just coming and playing hockey. Like, we have great restaurants. We have great opportunities for the kids to learn about French-Canadian culture and about, about the state and about all of the, we have just so much to offer. I feel
100%.
like it's such a cool thing. I do have a question about the academy part.
Sure.
Kids are playing hockey, but they're young people.
They are.
They're in school.
Yeah, they are.
Tell us about that.
Sure. There's two different types of academies. There's a school academy and there's a hockey academy. We're more on the hockey academy side. So the way it works is it's like a full-time job for these kids. It's a very big commitment. Our U16 program will be staying at St. Joe's, living there in the dormitory. We have our own dorm for them, so they're all, they're all alone. They're not getting into parties they're going after or anything.
They're
like
not
that.
in college.
Correct. But they get to live that kind of experience. Get to maybe first time being away from home. Grow in ways you didn't know you needed to. Right. We think that's very important. Just kind of a day to day and what it would look like. We pick the kids up from St. Joe's after they have breakfast for the 16s. We got team vans. We pick them up, bring them over to the Colisee. We have, morning skills practice, 8:30 to 9:30, and then they get off the ice at 9:30. From 10 to 12:30, they do their online schooling through Bush Academy in the cafeteria that we have. So both U18 and U16 do that. So most, if not all, of our kids are going to be doing online schooling through Bush Academy or their respected school district. Mm-hmm. So they get a lot of support through their actual school district and through Bush Academy, who is an actual brick and mortar school in New Hampshire. Andre, the guy that's been running it, he's been great, absolutely excellent with us. We have a few kids coming over from the Junior Mariners that we have signed, and they had nothing but great things to say about Bush Academy. So we're really excited for that because it gives the kids the real opportunity to get that full hockey aspect, but also, they're student athletes. I tell every kid on my recruiting calls, we need good student athletes. I need kids that have 3.5 GPAs, or I can't sell you. Yeah. I can't sell you to these North American leagues and the higher junior leagues because the CHL's coming into play. It's really affecting the D1 opportunities and stuff. So you really got to stand out as a student. A lot of the kids that we got have really grasped that.
They're learning so much. They're learning so much about hockey, but they're also learning so much about life.
And themselves,
and what's coming at them and what to, preparing them for so many things. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Sarah and I are both parents, and when we get the players in here, and we're like, one of our first questions that we ask them is, how old were you when you first put on skates? And you hear 2 years old, 3 years old, and then they tell us that they left home at like 14, 15 years old. Yeah. It's just unfathomable to us.
Yeah, it's same with me.
That's the life, right?
I put skates on at 3, left home at 15 to Canada, and played in Canada, still in contact with my billet parents to this day.
I love that connection too.
I love it too. Yeah. I get too attached. I'd want to keep them.
Yeah, we definitely do. My old billet father is actually an advisor now, Nick Dovzak, out in Tilsonburg, and he's sending us some really great players for the North American League and for U18s and U16s. So we keep that connection, and lifelong will forever be a father figure to me.
So you put skates on 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
And it's been hockey ever since for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No other sport even compares, or
Not even close. No, not adrenaline wise. I was a fighter.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of minor pro in the federal league. First game of my professional career, I got knocked out.
Oh,
Wow.
Lost some teeth, but
no.
yeah, I know how to pick them. Trust me. But yeah, no, it's always been hockey. I mean, I played baseball in high school. I'm pretty good little catcher. Played a little bit in junior college, but. Yeah, it's always just been hockey.
And even in life, right?
Yeah.
Like you went out there into the real world. You called it the civilian world. You had a job elsewhere outside of hockey, and you're like, this is not for me.
It really wasn't. I mean, I was so depressed with normal jobs. I just needed that. I missed that locker room presence, and I missed being around the people that had the same drive as me for passion, because it's so much bigger than yourself, being a part of a team. I was really missing that aspect for a few years, and it's really great to be back to it.
So when this opportunity opened up, you jumped.
100%, yeah. Also, I get to get my daughter. Last year, my daughter's 2.5 years old. We got her on skates.
Get her on skates.
We got her on skates at 9 months old. So maybe in 20 years, when you're interviewing the first NHL female head coach, it'll be my daughter, and she'll tell you that she started skating at 9 months old. It's a true story.
Love it.
She's like,
great.
I couldn't walk, but I could skate.
And now she carries a hockky stick around the house with
Oh
a
my
real
God,
hockey pocket.
I love it.
Yeah, my shins don't, though. My shins hurt. So.
You didn't teach her to fight too?
No. Okay. She's too beautiful for that.
She's precious.
She's precious.
I'm sure she is. What's her name?
Harper.
Aw.
What was it like, Dylan, leaving home at 15?
Honestly, I was excited. Yeah. I'm a big mama's boy, but I was really excited because I just knew what was coming from it. I knew I was never going to make the NHL. I knew I was never going to make the American League. I tried out in the East Coast League for Brampton Beast in an open tryout. You go and pay $200, try out for an East Coast League, which is the Mariners level. Obviously didn't make it, was never a very fast, skilled guy. I was more just a hard, gritty-nosed defenseman, and I had that all the way up through juniors. It was great. It was honestly everything I hoped for it to be. I have, lifelong friendships that I still stay in contact with to this day. One of my roommates, Stepan Timofeyev, he plays in the East Coast League, got a sniff in the American League. He started from the GMHL, and he's doing really well. Yeah. Fourth leading scorer in the entire East Coast League, and called up to the American League, started in the Federal League. It's great. You meet a lot of friendships that you'll never forget.
Yeah. And being in the position that you're in, when you watch these kids rise through the ranks, you're like, I had a part in that.
Yeah, there's a couple kids that have had a part in that have really grown, and I will go somewhere. And a very small part of it, because they're putting in the work.
Sure.
I'm just glad to be a part of the ride.
Yeah, but a lot of times you're making the connection.
Putting them on a path.
Yeah, you're bringing them here, and I think there's something to be said for that. Luke Parmelo just got called up.
He did.
To the Null.
Luke is a great kid.
From the NA3. How did tell us how that all happened?
So, well, it was definitely deserved. I can't say enough great things about the Parmelo family. Their older brother Nick played with my younger brother Bradley. Bradley came up through the ranks here in Lewiston, Auburn. He's playing in college at Post University right now. But Nick just had a great run. He's at, I think, Liberty and Acha D1, and they went to the national tournament. But Luke and Gabe, great people. Yeah. Chris, amazing person. I can't say enough great things. So I was really happy to see that good news happened for a great kid who just works his bag off every day. He doesn't ever complain. He always has a smile on his face. He works really hard. So it was a very special moment to see him put on the big club jersey, and especially at Maniacs throwback time, because he was a kid going to those games, and Chris being such a powerful name around the town with just how good of a person he is. It was probably a really special moment for the family. I mean, seeing that was awesome.
This weekend, the Nords are closing out the regular season against the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. Friday is age-out night.
Yep.
Right? Who are we saying goodbye to?
Oh, boy. Some good ones. Yeah. Ethan Wongus.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, Wongo, Kellen Murphy, Zion Green, Laurent Trepanier.
Oh, no.
Matt Delarusso, Aiden Lindblad, man, who else? Ocean Fancy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Mike Stenberg. It's gonna be a really
Wow.
tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
You're going to build an almost brand new team.
Yeah, we're back to the drawing board for sure. Those kids really paved a pathway that the new guys coming in are going to have some really big shoes to fill. And I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but, being here for the last 2 months, gaining those relationships with those kids, Alex Pellerin, great kid, going to play youth sports. They're great kids, and it's gonna really hurt to see them go for sure, especially after growing that relationship with all of them. They're great hockey players, but they're even better people off the ice. Can't say enough about their character. So it's gonna be a big shoes to fill on and off the ice. Yeah. Honestly, that locker room presence, the leadership. It's going to be tough. So
it's a bittersweet part of junior hockey, right? When we got to say goodbye to these kids. Saturday, the final regular season game of the season, and it's free admission at the Colisée. So, no better reason to get out there. If you were on the fence of whether or not you wanted to check out a Nordiques game, this is your prime opportunity right here. Yeah. Go check it out. And they're still fighting for that second playoff spot. They need a miracle. But it could happen, right?
I don't think it's more of a miracle because last weekend Maryland got swept. I mean, it went into overtime, so they got 2 points, but we won as well. So the magic number is still 4 right now. I think we can do it. Yay. I think Johnstown's a tough team. They're a tough opponent, and they're going up against Maryland, and I think they got I don't know, Caleb, I'm not going to say it, but Caleb LeBrie has called it so far, and he's been spot on about, Jersey coming in and doing the job down there. So, having a little bit of help from our other friends in the division, but I think we just need to take care of business against New Hampshire. Yeah. We've had a tough time this year against them. They've been a thorn on our side. Cam Robichaux used to coach here and knows how to play against us, so kudos to him. But half their teams from the Nordiques, they played us. They played for us.
Darn them.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I think that with the practice play we had this week, and I think with all the guys and how bought in they are, knowing that hey, this is the last week until playoffs. I really think it's going to be a good show. I think we're ready to go. And
we got to get people in there.
Yeah, honestly, we give free tickets out everywhere too. So it's we're not a money hungry program. We just want fans to come support our boys, and no better weekend to do it. Honestly, I know the Maniacs weekend was huge, but this could be the last time you see these age outs, right? And then you'll be reading about them in the newspaper in the Division I and Division III world, and eventually, making it pro like Isaiah Fox. Foxy, I remember Foxy my first year. Got to go watch him play at Adirondack in Portland, and I got to talk to him for a little bit after. It's just great to see all those kids move up. So
and the Nords are prepped and primed for a lengthy playoff run that hopefully ends with a ridiculous one-game series.
So weird.
For the Robertson Cup, right?
I don't want to talk about it.
It's so much. It's so much pressure.
You get those 3-game series, and then you get pushed into just it's one and done.
One and done.
You're done.
Sarah and I have been interviewing Nordiques coaches and players for the past 4 seasons now. Yeah. And you are familiar with Matt Pinchevsky.
I am familiar with Pinch,
was the coach when Sarah and I first got into the Nordiques interviews, and great guy. What was your experience like with him?
I love Pinchy. He was my coaching mentor. Like I said, I started my coaching career about 3 years ago here. Him and Eric Solstice hired me as a interim assistant. So for the entire program, I helped out in the North American League. I helped out with Nick Skurlik on the academy side, where me and Nick really gained a really good relationship, which I think helped me come back here. Pinch helped me get my first ever full-time head coaching job out in New Hampshire for the New Hampshire Avalanche. I had a great mentor in Pinch. I had a great mentor in Chris Sorella, who's the GM and head coach out in the New Hampshire Avalanche. And if you know anything about hockey, Chris Sorella is a legend, all-time leading scorer at Quinnipiac. So very big feat there. But it was just Pinchy's always treated me good, always taking care of me. I've known him since the Junior Pirates days. He coached my little brother, so my 2 little brothers actually. So it's I've known Pinchy for quite some time. And
Yeah.
it's great to see him, excel at the D3 level and the collegiate level and doing what he does best with recruiting and, winning and, molding young minds. He's a great guy, and I'm glad to call him a friend for sure. So
Yeah, we really enjoyed our time with him.
We did.
Fantastic guy, and of course,
Pinch and Shelley.
yeah, Shell's moved on too. Yeah.
I got a short time with Shells, but he was a beauty. He was a good dude. So
For sure.
I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's climbing the ranks. That's what this is all about. It's not just always about the players moving on. It's about coaches getting opportunities too, which is great.
And of course, Coach Pinch was succeeded by Nick Skurlick, who has done nothing but make history since he was involved with the Maine Nordiques. What is he like to be around this time of the season?
Skirls doesn't change from the start to finish.
Really?
He's the same person.
Okay.
I have had the pleasure of, hanging out with Skirls outside of hockey. We hang out a lot. He's a very good friend of mine. He took me under his wing. He's just such a good person, down to earth. He just really cares about his team. He cares not just about the players, but his team, his staff. He'd go to war for any one of us to make sure we succeed, and he just wants to see his teams win. He wants to see his guys get called up to that next level. He wants to see coaches grow and his friends succeed. Yeah. When he sees his friends succeed, he wins, and that's a great character about somebody. He gave a no-name resume kid an opportunity to create a resume and to build a program with him, and I love being around him every day. He'll probably tell you I'm a pain every once in a while, but we get the job done, and I'm happy to call him a friend, and he's a great boss to have. He really cares, and that means a lot to me. So yeah, it's pretty intense every day. I mean, he's helping me on my workout journey. We're both pushing each other in the gym. We're both pushing each other in the ring. So, it's been great. He's a great guy, great friend, and you can't say enough great things about him.
That's great to hear. A lot of times we'll ask the players how coach is holding up, and sometimes they'll plead the fifth, and sometimes they'll be very diplomatic. But that's great to hear.
I can say that those kids are very, very lucky to have a coach like that cares that much. Yeah. He cares. He loves those boys, and he cares about the program and wants to see those kids go so far. I really haven't seen many coaches work as hard for players as Nick Skurlick does.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So if you have the opportunity to work, be coached under Nick Skurlick, it's tough, but you'd be very lucky. And I think any kid in that locker room would say the same thing.
Are you the type of person that sets carear goals?
I am. Yes, I am.
So,
I actually have a 3 and 5 year plan set for the academy and for the North American League team here. I want to grow this academy back to what it was when Nick was running it. He's, being ranked 5th in the nation is something to be very proud of. To be able to push on the amount of kids he's pushed on in the NCAA world and the NAL and USHL world is super respectable. I mean, we had 3 kids on Hobart that played under our program that just won a national championship at the D3 level. Yeah. I mean, Hobart's arguably a D1 team, but my goal is to just continue to grow professionally, take it year by year, grow this academy program to a point where it's an influx of nothing but really good culture kids that respect their family name and respect the crest and really can grow from our program. Just to have the Nordiques name, it's a really easy selling point to get kids in here. My goal in the next 2 or 3 years is to get back to where Nick had it left off, top 10, top 20 ranking, get these kids exposed, get them to higher level hockey, move them on to the North American League, the USHL, and eventually D1 hockey. And for me, being able to do that will open up many doors. Mm-hmm. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I want to work under Nick as much as I can. I've already learned a lot in my short time with him. I learned a lot from the 3 weeks I was with him back in, I think it was like 2021 or 2022. Sorry, my daughter had just been born then, so 2022. And then, now, I've learned so much, and there's so much more to go. So, I plan to be here for the next 3 to 5 years, and then who knows what happens. Maybe college, maybe pro ranks, maybe major juniors, maybe just a junior team, wherever. But, I'm excited for the process in that.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter what the role is with the team, everyone enjoys working for this program.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to enjoy working for a program when you got like Nick Skurlick and Stan Moore and Caleb Labrie in the locker room. And then all those kids, they're just, like I said, every morning they're like, hey, DFR, how are you? And just always checking in on you and stuff. It's just the culture there is unmatched. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be honest with you. So it's a family, and I'm happy to be here.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at LlydiaMediaLLC.com. Dylan, we're going to close out with some fun questions. We got some fun hockey questions.
Oh, geez.
And then we have 3 random questions. And since you played, this will be great because some of the questions we ask of the players, and I'm sure you're not that far removed from your playing days, so you can think back to those times, right? Yeah. How do you pass time on the bus?
Oh, for me, because I'm old now, I sleep. And if I can't sleep, I'll put on a show on Netflix or something on my phone, and or I'll FaceTime my kid and, see her. It helps pass the time. But most of the time for the bus trips I've been heavily recruiting.
Yeah, I was going to say, for someone in your position, the work never ends.
Yeah, no,
Right,
I was up, till 1 a.m. doing recruitment calls with kids in Calgary. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Different time zones.
yeah, so.
How about greatest hockey movie ever made?
Oh my gosh, you have to ask me that.
I
Come
do.
on. Ah, man, there's an inside joke between me and Nick Skurlik, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Slapshot for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the joke?
I can't say.
Oh, come on.
It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate.
All right, fair enough.
I'm representing a professional company, so I
Gotcha.
gotta be careful. But no, Slapshot's definitely a legendary one. I'd say Youngblood or obviously Miracle. I mean, that's
the big one.
Yeah, but I'd say Slapshot for what's
Okay.
going on right now. Slapshot, yeah.
Pinch's favorite was Youngblood.
Youngblood, yeah.
Yeah.
Dean Youngblood, that was a great movie. I can't find it in America. You can't get it in America no more. So.
All right, Dylan, if you could change one rule about hockey, what would it be?
Ooh.
Like an on-ice rule, not like a recruitment rule or anything like that. If you could change the game.
I mean, the way I played, I was a fighter. I hate that, these kids get a 5 and a 10, so they're out for 15 minutes. Right. I think fighting's still a big part of the game. Changes the momentum of a game. A guy answering a bell if he, takes liberties on our guy. I think personally for me it would be the 5 and 10. I think they should just get a 5 and be respected as gladiators on that ice and warriors and going out and standing up for a team and doing a really hard job because it's not fun getting punched in the face. I can tell you right now. So I think that's punishment enough. A lot of people may disagree with me. That's okay. But I think the 5 and 10 rule is quite outrageous because there are some guys on our team that are studs that score a lot of points for us that get beaten up out there, and I'm sure they want to stand up for themselves, but then they're out for 15 minutes. So I remember talking to Greener, Zion Green, and he was telling me, there's times I've wanted to go, but I've had 2 goals and out for 15 minutes. What good am I to the team? And I'm like, I mean, you're right, but it's so.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
We always ask the guys to give us a hockey term that you either made up or that you guys use, like grocery stick was one that we got.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, the
And,
hockey lingo.
Just silly words like that. Do you have any that maybe we don't know?
I got to say, I've learned most of mine through watching Letterkenny and Shoresy.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think it was Ocean who informed us about grocery stick, and that became my all-time favorite.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
So my biggest chirp of all time, I had 2 of them, was I'd call a guy a bag of milk. In Canada, they don't come in cartons; they come in bags.
Oh.
And if you get called a bag of milk in Canada, it's not.
It's not nice.
It's not too nice. But I'll call a guy a pigeon every now and again and start calling at him or something.
What's that mean, pigeon?
You're just weak. I guess is the appropriate term to say. But I like calling guys bags of milk. You're a bag of milk. They look at me kind of funny. Like, did that really just come from you? Because you have a regular shift and I don't. So it's like, but it's good. It gets them thinking and gets them off their game a little bit.
Huh.
So.
Yeah.
We came up with one too.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, Sarah's good.
Ours is feta.
Feta?
Feta.
Like the feta cheese? Mm-hmm. What?
Because it crumbles under pressure.
Oh, That's good.
Feta.
I like that. I like that.
Feta.
I like that. I like that.
Look, she's already thrown attitude behind
You
it.
you have to come to the games on Friday and Saturday and start screaming feta.
People are like, why is she yelling about cheese? I don't get it.
And then you can explain it. They crumble under pressure. There you
Crumble
go.
under pressure.
There you
Feta.
Here's the big hockey one. Would you rather play for 12 years in the NHL as a perennial all-star and a Hall of Famer and never win a cup? Or would you rather play for 5 years as a third-line defenseman and win a cup?
Third line defenseman and win a cup.
No question.
No question.
Right. That's what it's all about.
You know, I have two cousins that play in the National Hockey League, step cousins, and one of them has won 2 cups. And I talk to him quite frequently. He told me there's no better feeling besides the birth of his kid to hoist that cup. And he won't be a Hall of Famer, but to hoist that cup is you always see the guys get emotional and stuff. You know, I guess there's no feeling for it. I don't know the experience, but definitely hoist the cup for
All
sure.
right. All right. We're going to close out with 3 random questions.
Okay.
These questions have nothing to do with hockey.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Ooh, pasta.
Pasta.
I will eat spaghetti all day long.
With any particular sauce or just
It could be just with butter. You can add chicken and sauce, whatever you want.
pasta?
Pasta.
Pasta's my favorite. For
Nice.
Sure.
All right. Dylan, if you had a time machine and you could take one round trip, where would you go?
Back to see my grandfather, my
Aw.
papa. He was my biggest supporter. He passed away in 2021. He was, I was a papa's boy, so I, grew up being raised by him and my grandmother while my mom was a nurse. You know, we spent a lot of time together. Instead of hanging out with my friends in high school, I go over to my grandparents every day and hang out with them, play some rummy, watch some TV shows.
Yep.
I'd go to the gym and work out and then come back and, eat dinner with them. Definitely would like to hear his voice one more time for sure. So
I like that answer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a good one.
What did you learn about yourself during COVID?
that I was very impatient, a very impulsive person. I get stir crazy if I can't go out and do things, go to the gym, go on the, all the rinks were closed. I big in men's league at that point, still chasing the dream of playing in the what's glorified beer league at this point, the Federal League. I mean, there's some really good players there. It's gotten a little better, but still trying to make that league as full time. Just not being able to skate, I think was really, really tough. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I learned a lot about how much I relied on sports and activity.
Yep.
Which is where I started my weight gain. I'd sit there and feel sorry for myself and eat a lot of pasta and have a lot of Jack and Cokes.
I can't do what I want.
Yeah. Basically just throw a temper tantrum and sit there on the couch and sulk.
I went the other way. It's like I never stopped moving.
Lucky.
The entire time of COVID.
Yeah,
I couldn't sit
You're
still.
a healthier person than I am.
That was the healthiest I had ever been.
Well, here's the thing. I used to weigh 290 pounds, so I've lost almost 40 pounds.
Good for you.
Wow.
Now that I can move around more.
Yeah.
All right, one more before we let you get out of here. What was the best era of hockey?
Oh, God. Well, I'm a huge Flyers fan. Obviously, I was a fighter, or whatever you want to call it, because I got killed most of the time. But probably the Broad Street Bullies era.
Yeah.
Dave the Hammer Schultz, Bobby Clark.
Was that mid-late 70s, right around there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those.
That was something else.
Dave the Hammer Schultz is my idol. So if you brought him in here right now, I'd probably cry.
Oh.
He's a beauty. So I just love that era of hockey. I thought it was just it was gladiator. It was passion and love, and it was great.
Can you imagine being in that building?
That would have been insane.
Good stuff. Dylan, it's been a pleasure.
It's been an honor being on the show, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time today. I know you head into the rink right now, but get the boys ready for the games this weekend, and let's cheer on the Nords right into the playoffs.
Yay.
Come Come on out to the Colisee.
Yep.
All right, MaineNordiques.com if you want more information. And thanks to our sponsors for today, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@LydiaMediaLLC.com. Pretty sure she's back from Lake Auburn now with Lydia.
Probably.
So, yeah,
She's
probably.
like, they're probably done. It's safe to go back.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat.